Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning. It is January 10th. I'm Josh Breiter.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. Kelly Slifka in this morning with your first warned weather. A little bit of visibility issues out there, maybe some freezing frost.
Yeah, that's going to be another issue with the frost on the windshield this morning. It was pretty thick yesterday. I think this morning we will see that again. So you're going to need that scraper. Probably take you 5 to 10 minutes to get all that off because it's been pretty moist out there all night long. Right now visibility is near zero in Lone Rock through the Dells, 1.25 miles. So not too heavy in the Madison area. But as you go to the west, you are going to see that fog a little bit thicker. And temperatures now are in the 20s. So some of that may be freezing. Be cautious on some of those sidewalks that haven't been treated. They may be a little bit slick this morning. Right now we're 29 in Madison, but it's 23 off to the west. So driving this morning, we do have some of the fog, reducing the visibilities a little bit. That fog should lift pretty quickly. The moisture layer isn't that thick, so a lot of that should burn off once we get the sun out there. A little bit of sunshine late this morning into the afternoon before the clouds thicken up. Temperatures just a little bit cooler with readings in the 30s.
All right, Kelly, thank you. We begin with a death investigation in Janesville this morning. Police are working to find out what happened to a man found unresponsive sleeping in a park. 2 people found him at Volunteer Park on North Main Street yesterday evening around 6:30. He's a 40 to 50-year-old white man. First responders tried to resuscitate him, but he died at the hospital. Police say there's no sign of trauma, but it's unclear what led to his death. Foul play is not suspected. Authorities will release his name after the family's notified.
Today marks 6 weeks since the shooting on State Street in Madison. Investigators identified the suspect right away, but 40-year-old Lamar Jefferson is still on the run this morning. Madison police giving us a brief update on the case, saying they are still searching for him. Adding, quote, "We have since learned he has also connections to the city of Chicago." According to the complaint, Jefferson shot the victim several times on November 29th after an argument. The victim did survive. Police say Jefferson has no permanent address, which also complicates the search. He faces several charges this morning, including attempted first-degree intentional homicide, and police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911 right away. You can also share an anonymous tip to Madison area Crime Stoppers.
All right, taking a live look at the White House this morning. President Biden and his team are dealing with a pretty big legal headache. It comes after documents marked classified were found at the former office of the vice president. He was vice president at the time. Roughly 10 documents marked classified were found at the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement in Washington. CBS News says they contain no nuclear secrets, though. The Attorney General has assigned the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney in Chicago to review the documents.
What DOJ will look at is how did the documents get there? Was it intentional? Is this a case that deserves to be prosecuted?
The president's special counsel said that material was identified by Biden's personal attorneys while they were packing files in a locked closet to prepare to vacate the office space. He adds that the White House counsel's office notified the National Archives the same day material was discovered and that the archives took possession of them the following day.
In more local news at 6:03 this morning, a drag show planned for students at Madison East High School later this month has now been put on pause. District officials are citing safety as a top concern. In a statement, a district spokesperson says, in part, this event has recently gained significant local and national media attention. Unfortunately, we've received several messages that have raised a number of safety concerns for the student-led event. Therefore, we have decided to postpone this event to a later date to provide time to refine our safety plan around this very important celebration. This comes after this tweet went viral last week by Libs of TikTok, a conservative Twitter account. You saw that post here a second ago. It included a picture of East High's newsletter inviting people to the family-friendly event put on by the school's Gender and Sexuality Alliance organization. The tweet got over 550,000 views, according to Twitter analytics, with many retweets and replies condemning the event in high school. It's unclear on if or when MMSD is planning to reschedule that drag show.
6:04 now. A Sun Prairie man will spend more than 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to distributing meth. Federal investigators say Daniel Gibbs sold a pound of meth to a confidential source 3 times in Sun Prairie back in August and September of 2021. Agents got a search warrant for the Sun Prairie home in November then of 2021 and reportedly found around 4 pounds of heroin, a kilogram press, and a loaded gun inside.
Right now, Wisconsin may be facing a severe workforce housing shortage. A new study from Forward Analytics says the shortage may be caused in part by the retiring population. Wisconsin's retired baby boomers are staying in their homes, making it difficult for young adults to find affordable housing. Over the next decade, researchers say the state needs 140,000 new homes to accommodate for people entering working ages.
That's a much bigger challenge. We've not reached that number really since the 1990s.
If Wisconsin solves its workforce shortage problem by attracting new families, the state may need to build up to 227,000 new housing units.
Dane County officials are urging everyone to check their home for radon. It's because almost half of the homes in the county, had high levels of the radioactive gas, which is the second most common cause of lung cancer. You can't see, smell, or taste radon, but there is something you can do about it. Testing is the only way to see if you're at risk. Public Health Madison Dane County offers a $10 kit to do it yourself, or you can hire a professional. The install takes about 10 minutes and gauges your levels over a few days.
You set it up in a spot where, in the lowest level of your home, where you spend at least 7 hours a week.
Once results come back, you'll know if you need to take action, which involves funneling radon out of your home. Test again in 2 years, regardless. An active investigation is underway this morning after a scare this weekend when an occupied vehicle on the city's east side was hit with gunfire. This happened Saturday on Village Lane, just off of Portage Road. The woman told police that she was sitting in the car when it was shot. Police say the suspected shooter and that woman knew each other. She is okay. The car was damaged. Toddlers have a habit of putting anything they can get their hands on into their mouth, and that can be dangerous.
Speaking from experience, a new study by the journal Pediatrics found more children under the age of 6 have been accidentally exposed to THC edibles than ever before. Dewey Izrar spoke to a local doctor to explain why.
At a glance, this jar may look like candy, but in the hands of a child, it could land them in the ER.
We've been working with them since 2008.
Strawberry, raspberry, and watermelon.
Edibles have become very, very popular in the last 4 to 5 years.
They sound like fun and fruity flavors.
I mean, every day our top products are edible products.
In the wrong hands, they can be dangerous.
It's very easy to get an overdose situation under those circumstances.
According to the journal Pediatrics, nationwide, the number of children that have been accidentally exposed to THC edibles has increased by more than 1,300%. Nearly all of them were under the age of 6.
An astronomical rise in the scope of this problem in a short period of time.
Gunderson Health System toxicologist Ben Orozco says La Crosse is no different.
We probably saw in the neighborhood of 10 cases just in the course of a month or two.
The reason behind the increase? Packaging that resembles candy.
It makes it more appealing. It makes it look more delicious.
Owner of Tree Hugger Co-op Dylan Byers says many brands market edibles as colorful candies and characters.
Just by the way they look, we're like, because they do look like they're marketed to kids, and that is a big no-no.
Over 90% of the children who have eaten edibles accidentally found them at home.
Brands that just need to lead with very basic, almost like medical-looking packaging.
Orozco says as long as candy-like packaging continues, doctors can expect more cases.
The insanity of having candy-flavored poison in the home is something that I think we're all going to regret one day.
Byers says if you have any CBD gummies in your home, treat it like any other medication. Store it in a locked cabinet away from children.
Celebration time again in Georgia for the Bulldogs. They've won back-to-back national championships, knocking off TCU last night. This one was all Georgia. It started early. Quarterback Stetson Bennett got the party started early. He's going to take it 21 yards for the score. Now, TCU would only score 1 touchdown in the game, and it came in the first quarter. Quarterback Max Dugan had his turn on the ground. He's going to run it in from the 2-yard line. But then after that, it was all Georgia. They didn't give up a single point. The Bulldogs dominated this one, leading to another national championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's special. It seems like for the past 3 or 4 months, we've been looking, see if somebody could beat us, and we just, ran out of games. Nobody could.
Leaving no doubt
Final score 65-7. He was awful confident, wasn't he?
Yeah, not even close.
Man. Georgia becomes the first team since the 2011-2012 Alabama Crimson Tide to win consecutive national championships.
All right, 10 after 6 right now, coming up with more online retailers offering buy now, pay later options. We'll explain some risks you need to know before you check out.
And the Badger men's basketball team sliding in the rankings. We'll see where they sit this morning after that loss to Illinois over the weekend.
Your family's year-round comfort is our year-round commitment at RG Heating and Air Conditioning. We install quality Trane equipment and service all brands so your home's furnace and AC will perform their best year-round. RG Heating and AC.
We asked people to give their honest feedback on how wrinkles around their eye area and under-eye puffiness looked after trying Tint and Tighten for the first time.
So with foundation, normally it just kind of, you just cover up and conceal things, but with Tint and Tighten, it actually changes the way the skin looks. The lines are actually gone, so you don't get any of that buildup within them and the creases that you normally would see when you wear foundation.
40s is a bit of a shocker for me because 40s, I noticed the skin under my eye is getting very loose, and then 50s hit, and I'm 54, and I really noticed the difference in the firmness of my skin here, and especially here. I'm glad there's products like Tint and Tighten out there so that I can just put this on and not worry about what I didn't do in my 40s, my 30s, and my 20s, and it looks like I always have. It's a pleasure, and it's actually a gift for anyone.
Tint and Tighten shrinks under-eye puffiness, smooths out wrinkles and fine lines around the eye area, and provides tinted coverage to hide dark circles and skin imperfections, making you look fresh and younger. Tint and Tighten is the only cosmetic that blends a beautiful tinted cream to cover uneven skin tone and dark circles with silicate technology that smooths out under-eye puffiness and wrinkles, making the skin around your eye area look flawless for up to 8 hours.
I will be turning 59 in June of this year. Using Tint and Tighten, for me, I'm actually very confident right now that my wrinkles won't be as obvious. It is giving me the support that I think reminds me that I'm at my best right now.
Finally, there's a tinted eye cream to cover dark circles and uneven skin tone. And since Tint and Tighten works in 10 minutes and lasts up to 8 hours, you can look your best without getting injections or fillers. Get beautiful, lightweight, tinted coverage, plus that smoother, younger, wrinkle-free look from years past in 10 minutes. A look that will make you feel beautiful and confident. Try it this new year for only $19.95. Plus, get free shipping and handling. Visit tintandtighten.com or call the number on your screen.
With my low energy, I can't even blow up this celebratory balloon.
At Planet Fitness, there's hope. Now through January 12th, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023 in a clean and spacious, judgment-free zone with tons of equipment to get you energized.
Low E? Not for me.
Simply join through the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, January 12th.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. RG Heating and AC. We'll always treat you like family. Guaranteed.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back at 6:13. If you shopped online, you may have noticed the new option when checking out, a buy now, pay later plan. Well, the offer sounds pretty enticing. Get your purchase home with no interest and no fees. But as Consumer Reports explains, there are some important warnings you need to know before clicking now and paying later. Here's Shane Hogan.
Javier Shirez bought some golf gear last year and paid for it using a buy now, pay later plan with a company called Affirm. There was just one problem.
The retailer claimed that I received it. I didn't, so I started making phone calls.
After contacting Affirm and explaining the problem, Javier was surprised to learn that he was still on the hook for the weekly payments.
I said, I'm not going to pay for this. I don't have the merchandise. And I called Affirm, and I said, look, I don't think it's fair. Everybody has a recourse except the consumer. I'm hung out to dry.
In a statement, Affirm told Consumer Reports, quote, "We do our best to support all Affirm consumers throughout their purchasing journey, including assisting with return and refund issues as they arise." But Javier isn't alone. According to a CR survey, 28% of people who used a buy now, pay later service reported having at least one problem, including being overcharged and having difficulties returning products or getting refunds. While no-interest loans can be enticing, a low or no-interest credit card might be an even better option.
Credit cards give you better protections on purchases that are damaged upon delivery or never received at all.
For now, pay later users, don't overextend yourself. Try not to have more than 1 or 2 loans open at a time.
It's also a good idea to stick with just one provider so that you're not stuck juggling multiple loans with multiple vendors.
And if you can't pay on time, notify the company ahead of time because you may be able to reschedule a payment.
Consumer Reports also recommend setting up auto pay to avoid any late payment penalties.
All right, Kelly Slifka here now with 3 things we need to know this morning. Hey, Kelly.
Yeah, good morning. We are waking up to some fog here locally, and it's been fairly thick, especially areas to the west. And some of that may be freezing with temperatures in the 20s, so well below freezing. That fog should be lifting. It will be dry this afternoon, cooler than what we had yesterday when we got up to 40 degrees. And tomorrow or tonight, we have that possibility of another weak system may produce a little bit of light freezing drizzle or flurries. This will be after midnight tonight. Right now, the visibility is down close to 0 in Lone Rock, so barely able to see in front of you there. A quarter-mile visibility in the Dells, Madison about 1.25 miles. Temperatures in the 20s, and when you get this cold, you can get some of that fog freezing on contact. So be a little bit cautious on the sidewalks, especially if they haven't been treated. They may be a little bit slick this morning. Right now at the airport, 29 degrees in Madison, but it is 32 in Cross Plains, 31 currently in Mount Horeb, and 32 currently in Stoughton. So it is below freezing most locations. A weak system passing through right now. Not a lot of moisture to work with to produce any kind of precipitation, but it will bring us some cooler weather on the back side of the area of low pressure as the winds switch around to the west. And we'll see a little bit of sunshine. I wouldn't expect a whole lot today, but it should be dry. Temperatures in the 30s throughout the morning hours, probably in the mid-30s this afternoon, so maybe 5 or 6 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. So more clouds and sun today, but maybe a few peaks. Later tonight, another weak system comes in. This will be well after midnight. A little bit of light drizzle or some flurries passing through, but by tomorrow morning, most of this will be lifting to our north, and then we should get into some dry conditions with maybe a few peaks of sun in the afternoon. So mid-30s today with the fog mainly this morning. Then we should see a little bit of sun this afternoon. But may have to deal with a little bit of freezing drizzle or flurries late tonight. 40 tomorrow, though, as we warm up. Another weak system passes to our south. Could produce a little bit of light snow or flurries, mainly across extreme southern parts of the state. Temperatures in the 30s. All right, our first warn traffic as we look at the roads across the Madison area right now. Not reporting any accidents in Madison.
All right, good news. Thanks, Kelly. Here's Jordan Reed now with your morning sports.
Not the day the Packers envisioned they would have after preparing all week for their win and in scenario. Instead of getting ready for Wild Card Weekend, the team spent Monday afternoon cleaning out their lockers. Several mistakes ended up costing them the game against the Lions, which will no doubt sting for a long time. But the players said that they are proud for how they responded to adversity throughout the year and know that next year they'll have to be better.
It's never how you want it to end. When you're right there, you fought through so much and so close. Just to come up short, so a little disappointed, but proud of all my guys in the locker room. You know, we fought, we never gave up.
The margin for error is super slim, and it's hard to win in this league, and we're kind of blessed to be a part of all those, 13 win seasons. But yeah, it's just kind of brings it to reality that it isn't so easy, and you got to be at the top of your game all season, and yeah, we just weren't.
College football Hall of Fame selections are out, and a former Badger is on the ballot. Troy Vincent, who shined during Barry Alvarez's early years as UW's head coach, has been selected. While rocking the red and white, Vincent had 192 tackles, 31 passes defended, plus 4 picks. He was also known for what he could do on punt return. 66 for almost 800 yards with 3 resulting in touchdowns. After his time at UW, Vincent had an impressive pro career that spanned 16 years. Badger men's basketball is down 4 spots in the latest AP poll after a tough 10-point loss to Illinois over the weekend. They're now ranked 18th in the top 25, and Saturday also marked their first Big Ten L this season. The team struggled on both sides of the ball and were also missing their leading scorer, Tyler Wall, who was out with a lower body injury. But now the Badgers are home, ready to turn the page and get back to their brand of basketball.
Just kind of trying to stick to Wisconsin basketball, get back to what we do, our principles,
our game plan, our preparation, trust in that. So really just toning things up like that and locking stuff like that up in practice.
We're just going to be the more physical team. We always try to be, and then just play our style of basketball, which is constant basketball. Just touch the post. Like I said earlier, the defense and the communications will be big for us. So I think those three things will help us get a win.
Bucks looking to complete a season sweep of the Knicks on Monday night. Trailing by 17 points at one point in this game, the Deer rally late fourth quarter. Joe Ingles sets it up for Giannis. That alley-oop dunk ties it on up. Now Drew Holiday catches fire in the final minutes. He cashes in from distance to give the Bucks the lead. He's going to add some insurance just a couple minutes later. 7 Bucks score double digits as they mount the largest comeback this season, winning 111-107. Back to you.
Jordan, thank you. 6:20 right now. Coming up, caught on camera. See what trouble a deer got into for one business owner.
And in our next half hour, the latest on that big industrial fire that damaged a whitewater factory. What investigators are saying this morning.
This portion of News 3 Now sponsored by RG Heating and Air Conditioning.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
My name is Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
What can Sono Bello do for you? How about a new shape?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
New confidence.
I can see a huge difference. Look at this.
New you.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
With Sono Bello, you can permanently remove stubborn fat in just one visit. Don't wait. The results I've seen achieved are truly outstanding.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, and find out how you can get $250 off. Sono Bello uses Tri-Sculpt micro-laser liposuction to remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently for incredible transformations in just one visit.
I have one big regret. I didn't go sooner.
Call 1-888-622-8360 or go to sonobello.com.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Garage doors do not like the cold weather at all.
As soon as it gets cold springs, parts will burn.
At Precision, we can fix any make or model, usually the same day.
Rain, sleet, or snow, we're good to go.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
You can get any phone you want.
Any one I want?
Any phone you want.
Connection is the greatest gift of all. At US Cellular, we're offering any phone free for new and current customers.
Only at Vanguard, you're more than just an investor. You're an owner.
We got this, babe.
That means that your dreams are ours, too. And our financial planning tools can help you reach them. That's the value of ownership.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobeson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
We're back at 6:24. Real quick, these flowers were this direction.
The purple and yellow doesn't need to get your Vikings colors
Popular
out of
sports
here.
team from my homeland. Stanford quickly turned that around when I made that. Look at that. Look at that.
It is pretty.
Hideous.
Oh, wait. We got two guys from Minnesota here, don't we?
Oh my gosh. You are outnumbered, buddy. You are outnumbered.
Not outsmarted, though.
Well, I don't know. We'll see here with the playoffs. All right, so now to our actual story since I delayed some time. So we've heard of bull in a china shop, but what happens when a deer breaks into a butcher shop? Look at that video.
This happened in Moorhead, Minnesota over the weekend. The deer just barrels through the front of the shop like greased lightning. and then it's gonna just
it doesn't know what to do.
It's freaking out, and then it goes.
Exactly.
Goodbye.
Look at all the damage it caused.
That thing was on a mission.
This happens like a few times a winter.
Yeah.
I feel like, but it always makes for good video.
This actually happened in my hometown elementary school. It went through like one of the, just like the video was incredible.
Oh, goodness.
That poor business, though, that's never fun to clean up.
Yeah, well, at least they got some good publicity out of it.
Yeah,
I guess
they did.
so. Makes for a good story for sure.
It does. Hey, the weather story this morning got some fog and some frost out there.
Yeah, it's going to be another frosty morning and going to have to break out that scraper because we are looking at the fog. And temperatures have been below freezing, so some of this freezing on contact, even the sidewalks, especially out west where that visibility is way down to a quarter of a mile. Temperatures right now in the 20s area-wide, well into the 20s off to the west. Maybe up to 40 tomorrow, hopefully a little bit of sun. Storm system passing north south, may bring in a little bit of light snow on Thursday, not a lot expected. Really quiet weather into the weekend and maybe a rainmaker as temperatures approach 40 next week.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Another half hour of News 3 Now this morning, right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
The Power Swabs were so easy to use. I don't have to have strips sitting on my face for an hour. I don't have to have a foam tray where I feel like I'm gonna gag or I'm gonna go play football. I've tried like every over-the-counter whitening because, you know, I'm one of those people that's like obsessed with white teeth.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like, you gotta leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab and I just gotta rub it on my teeth, and that was it.
The Secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
When I used these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain, and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth? With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the Power Swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth this new year by ordering Power Swabs and receive up to 50% off the regular price. Yes, 50% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
Right now, a raging fire and no water. This morning, how firefighters overcame a severe challenge and what needs to happen to investigate a whitewater industrial fire.
And a consumer alert for parents. The alarming new admission from Fisher-Price about an infant sleeper.
Well, some of that fog did develop overnight, and it's been pretty thick off to our west. Might run into some frost and freezing fog as well, but we are expecting some sun today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a Tuesday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Josh Bretter. We start with Kelly Slifka and your first warn weather forecast. It's been nice at least to have a little bit of that sunshine, giving us a little hope out there with the forecast.
Yeah, yesterday was nice. Definitely felt good after seeing so many gray days over the last week. So today we're going to probably see a little bit more cloud cover than yesterday, but I think we'll see a few peaks of sun. Right now, though, what we're looking at is some fog, and it's been fairly thick. It's been pretty stagnant off to the west, about a quarter-mile visibility. Occasionally gets down to 0. So if you are traveling to the west, use some caution with that fog. Obviously, you might be cruising along okay, and then all of a sudden you run into that thick fog. Also, with the temperatures now below freezing, some of that may be freezing, so be cautious on the sidewalks. In fact, it's well below freezing, down to 23 in Loden Rock with that quarter-mile visibility. 29 the current temperature in Madison. So on the commute this morning, look out for the fog, especially areas to the west this morning. A little bit of sun, at least later this morning into the afternoon before more clouds roll in toward the evening, but it should be dry today. We are tracking a little bit of freezing drizzle and some flurries later tonight. We'll detail that coming up.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Remember, you can always stay on top of the changing conditions here with Wisconsin Winter by downloading the First Warn Weather app. It is available for free in your app store. Well, new this morning at 6:31, Fisher-Price reissuing a recall for a baby sleeper responsible for over 100 infant deaths.
You may remember the initial recall of nearly 5 million rock and play sleepers from back in April of 2019. That came after more than 30 infants died when they rolled from their backs onto their stomachs or sides while unrestrained. Well, since then, about 70 more deaths have been reported. The rock and play sleepers were sold between 2009 and 2019 at some major retailers, including Walmart, Target, and Amazon. Consumers are urged to stop using the products immediately. Here's what you need to do if you have one of these. You want to contact Fisher-Price for a refund or a voucher. The company wants you to visit Fisher-Price online at service.mattel.com and click on recalls and safety alerts, or call Fisher-Price at 866-812-6518.
Also new this morning, the Department of Education is proposing lowering student loan payments for millions of people. It's part of the Biden administration's plan to change the existing income-driven repayment program. The proposed rule could reduce payments to 40 cents per dollar, saving borrowers some $1,000 per year. It would also pause payments for anyone making less than $30,600 in a year. In addition, there would be no longer a charge for an unpaid monthly interest. Smaller loans would be forgiven after 10 years of payment. The Biden administration now seeking feedback from the public. A final rule could be released later this year. This morning, lawmakers will meet to push forward an attempt to reform the state's bail laws. The amendment would allow judges to consider past crimes when setting bail. People who've been incarcerated are pushing back, however. The amendment has already passed the legislature once and would need to do so again before it heads to the voters as a referendum. One lawmaker says it could reach ballots as early as next April. The Joint Committee on Judiciary and Public Safety will be holding that public hearing on the topic at 10 this morning.
A new leader for the state's Department of Veterans Affairs, James Bond, a disabled Marine Corps veteran, has worked at the department for several years. He's also making history in his new role, becoming the first openly LGBTQ person in state history to head a cabinet agency. His appointment fills the position left by former Secretary Mary Kohler, who retired earlier this month. As a veteran, Madison resident and Wisconsin Senate Minority Leader Melissa Agard agrees with the governor on this appointment. She says that Wisconsin veterans and their families sacrifice so much for our communities, our state, and our country, and deserve to be adequately supported through their life. Agard believes that Bond will be a dedicated and fierce advocate for Wisconsin veterans and their loved ones.
Time right now is 6:34. Let's take a live look at the White House this morning, the U.S. Capitol, where lawmakers in D.C. voted last night on a major House piece of legislation for the 2023 session.
On this vote, the yeas are 221 and the nays are 210. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Promise is made.
The 87,000 new IRS employees idea may be out the window with the passing of H.R. 23. The Family and Small Business Taxpayer Protection Act has slashed the $80 billion directed toward the IRS for the next 10 years. Critics have called out the House vote as the funding would have gone toward equipment updates and replacing retiring agents. The bill has a slim chance of making it through the Democrat-controlled House or to President Biden's desk.
A Madison teenager scheduled to be in court today for a status conference. 18-year-old Avian Howard's facing charges of operating a vehicle without consent for this crime back in the spring. If you see the video here, you may remember it. It allegedly captures Howard crashing a stolen car in the Beltline right during rush hour. He and 5 other teens ran from the scene, some of them jumping right into the marsh to get away. Nobody was hit by an oncoming car. Howard's status conference is scheduled for 8:30 this morning.
One person is in custody this morning after causing a rollover crash in downtown Madison. A woman first reported to police that her vehicle rolled over after it was rear-ended. This happened Monday morning at the intersection of Langdon and Francis Streets. Police say the driver of the other vehicle left the scene of the crash but was taken into custody 2 blocks away.
After 25 years, a woman who washed ashore from Lake Michigan has been identified. In 1997, her body was found on the shores of Manistee, Michigan, wearing only a single earring. Now, DNA testing has identified her as Dorothy Ricker with the help of her brother and daughter. The case was ruled an accidental drowning. That ruling stays the same. Michigan State Police say that this finding will not change what happened, but it may serve as a peace of mind for Dorothy's family.
6:36, we're learning new developments about the fire that damaged a whitewater factory. We first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. As Armand Rahman reports, crews have had to battle a perfect storm of challenges.
The scope of the incident was quite large.
Whitewater Assistant Fire Chief Joe Uzelding says they had to put out a call for additional help on the scene at John's disposal Sunday night, and more than 30 agencies from around the area responded.
In this situation, we would not have been able to handle an incident this large on our own with just the resources that the Whitewater Fire and EMS has.
But there was a big roadblock in their attack. No source of water on site.
So we didn't have the water that we required to fight that incident.
So this is just one of the ways the assistant chief says they got around that, running water through feet of hose from the neighboring LS power plant to where the fire took place, as well as requesting 15 tenders to run a water shuttle.
We also dealt with the cold temperatures. Even though there's a fire and you think it's going to keep people warm, it doesn't. That cold weather really does affect people that are working out there.
The building that was on fire housed some recycling materials and equipment to sort them. While officials say there's no threat to the public of inhaling toxic fumes, it was all in the smoke surrounding firefighters.
So crews that were operating up in the buckets did have to be on air when they were exposed to the chemicals. Various materials in recycling, a lot of plastics, which are usually petroleum-based. We also deal with cardboard that can be coated with various different materials.
Crews cannot safely enter the partially collapsed building at this time to take care of all the hot spots and investigate the cause, so they continue monitoring the scene.
This is likely going to be a lengthy incident.
In Whitewater, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
In other news this morning, flu activity in the state still high, but health officials say it's on its way down. Fewer patients are reporting flu-like symptoms, but levels are still a lot higher than they were from 2018 to 2021. Since the start of October, over 43,000 cases of flu have been identified. At this point in the 2021-22 season, it was nearly 4,000. Respiratory disease expert Tom Hopp told us that in 2021, the flu season went on through the spring and early summer, so it's not sure at this point just how long this year's flu season will last. They want you to do the basics, wash your hands, social distance, wear a face covering, and if you have to, stay home if you feel sick.
Well, you are taking a live look this morning at New York City as hundreds of nurses gather for the second day of their strike. Nearly 7,000 nurses have walked out of the largest private hospitals in New York. They are striking for what organizers call an end to deadly understaffing. We do not have that live picture right now, but the staffing issue is tied in with low wages in one of the world's most expensive cities.
Like truly think, Buka, can I answer this question, please? Okay, and just real quick, can I have like 30 seconds?
I love that.
Adorable video here. That is Bills offensive tackle Deion Dawkins and his daughter at an emotional press conference after beating the Patriots. I don't know. I kind of like it when these athletes bring their little kids up there. It always makes for some really cute moments.
It shows the realness, and I'm guessing like all the way leading up to this, he was probably telling her like, you have to be quiet during this. So then when he started talking,
it's like, no, Daddy, you gotta be quiet.
No talking.
Isn't she adorable?
Oh, I love that. With all the things that they've been through recently too. Some positive spirits, good.
Some levity there. You know, sometimes we think of those athletes as, you know, they're rich, they don't have to deal with the stuff that we all have to deal with. I think we're wrong. I think they do.
A little authenticity right there for sure. All right, here's a live look outside at this hour. Traffic moving along just fine. Those temps staying above average. That's why we're dealing with some fog and some patchy frost out there this morning. Kelly will have an update in his First Warn Weather when we come back.
And the cryptocurrency industry starting off 2023 amid growing fraud concerns. The new warning about a scam and how to avoid becoming a victim.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health. If you suffer from bothersome or painful spider veins or varicose veins, please join us for our upcoming seminar where you can learn what new procedures may be able to help you.
Garage doors are just like us. They don't like the cold weather. But if it breaks, Precision Garage Door is always ready. We always show up in a fully stocked vehicle so we can get the job done today.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Sand. We like sand, don't we? Between the toes and such, and in other places. Expedia tracks the price of your flight and lets you know when it's best to book. So you can go see all the sandiest sand. And never wonder if you booked at the right time. Because you did.
Oh, hey buddy, let's eat naturally. It's so yummy with natural recipes. Great taste is guaranteed. So goodbye to your worries.
Natural recipes. Beneful. Eat happy.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Now get an Escape, Edge, or Explorer SUV with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
If you suffer from bothersome spider veins or painful varicose veins, please contact us at Stoughton Health to learn about what new procedures may be able to help you.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
News 3 Now is taking action, reaching out to our community to lend a helping hand.
Taking action by teaming with our neighbors and local leaders to help make this amazing community we share a better place to live.
Taking action for South Central Wisconsin. News 3 Now.
Need to know what the traffic is like before you hit the road? Get the Channel 3000 app now, and I'll tell you where the trouble spots are and how to get around them.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
We're back at 6:44. Federal regulators are issuing new warnings for cryptocurrencies. The FBI says scammers and so-called pig butchering schemes fatten up the pig by getting the victim to think that they're investing in crypto and then steal their money and butcher off communication. Mike Valerio has a look at how to avoid becoming a victim.
Get ready for another crypto roller coaster ride this 2023. The FBI and other agencies are raising concerns about an online scam called pig butchering.
We're not talking about what's going on farms. We're talking about a cryptocurrency investment scam that is sweeping the country. It is costing Americans billions of dollars in losses.
Authorities are urging you to be careful when getting random texts or messages through social media with invitations to start investing in cryptocurrencies.
When you finally ask for your money, guess what? Your friend has disappeared.
It comes as several recent crypto-related headlines sent a chill through an already anxious community. First, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of failed crypto exchange platform called FTX, pleaded not guilty this month to federal fraud and conspiracy charges linked to his company's meltdown. Then, the SEC charged 6 people in an investment scheme called CoinDeal that raised more than $45 million on false promises of access to blockchain technology. And also this month, U.S. regulators have issued their first joint statement warning banks and others about the risks of fraud, volatility, and poor risk management in the crypto world. So, what can you do to avoid becoming a victim? Law enforcement officials say scammers usually target their victims by sending mass texts, hoping somebody takes the bait.
Perpetrators of these crimes have been trained in techniques of psychological deception, in techniques to gain people's trust.
All right, it is 6:45. Let's turn our attention now to the forecast. Kelly Slifka's got a scrape alert this morning.
Again, this morning, just like yesterday morning, had some thick fog, and you're going to be spending some time scraping off that frost this morning. Make sure you get it all off so you can see your surroundings. It'll take about 5 to 10 minutes because it's getting pretty thick now with the frost developing on the windshield. Right now, our visibility down to 3/4 of a mile in Madison, so it has dropped now over the last half of an hour or so. Same goes for Wisconsin Dells. 1/4 mile of visibility in Lone Rock, so that's what's causing some of that frost to form, and also be a little bit cautious on the sidewalks that have not been treated. Some of that may be some of that fog might be freezing on some of those areas that haven't been treated. Right now, area-wide, we are in the 20s. We're down to 26 here in Madison. One of the cooler spots here in Dane County, while some locations up near freezing in Cottage Grove and also Sun Prairie down to Stoughton. Weak system passing through right now, squeezing out enough moisture to produce some of that fog. Not a whole lot of wind either with this system right now. We were on the warm side of it yesterday. That's why we got up to 40 degrees. Now we're on the back side of it as that wind switches around the west. That'll bring us slightly cooler weather, but I think mostly we should stay dry for the afternoon. Just have to deal with the fog this morning, but it will be a little bit cooler. We have another round of some very light drizzle or some flurries moving in tonight. Once again, it doesn't take much to cause some problems on the roads. We'll have to watch that for the road conditions tomorrow morning, but it should be milder in the afternoon tomorrow, so we'll melt any ice that does form. One thing we have actually seen quite a bit of snow this year, but we just have not been able to keep it. So far, we've had 20 inches. All the snow is way up north, where they have almost 3 feet of snow up there toward Lake Superior, but of course around here, basically just some snowbanks. So watching the clouds this morning, the fog, maybe a peak or two of sun. Later tonight, though, as we go after midnight, well, could see a little bit of drizzle or a flurry pass through some of that, maybe freezing on contact, then a little bit of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and we should start to warm up. 35 today, but up to 40 tomorrow. Another system passes to our south. Maybe a little light snow shower or flurry moving through, mainly in southern Wisconsin Thursday. Dry for the weekend, getting close to 40 next week.
40, okay. Kelly Slifka, thanks a lot. A new paper published in the Oxford University Press finds children living near one California airport had high lead levels in their blood. Leaded gasoline still used for aviation, and experts say that fuel accounts for about 2/3 of lead emissions in the U.S.
New research at Harvard University has identified various healthy diets that can help you live longer. Study participants who followed one of 4 healthy eating patterns were less likely to die from cardiovascular disease, cancer, or respiratory disease. All of the diets share key components, including whole grains, fruits, veggies, and nuts.
Coming up in the morning sprint, a new warning about an invisible and dangerous gas found in more and more Dane County homes.
But first, we want to say happy birthday to Cadence and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us bright and early here on News 3 Now this morning.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 12th.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, It's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Brien, owner of The Healthy Place. I'm excited to tell you about our new Wild Theory CBD products that will get you high fives from everyone you know. Wild Theory's new groundbreaking formula has higher levels of the good stuff, and it packs surprising results. Is it legal in Wisconsin? Of course! Is it potent? You bet. Will you love it? I'm sure of it. Stop by one of our Madison locations or visit findyourhealthyplace.com, type in high five, and our website will hook you up.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Every family is a little bit different, and we'd all love life to be a little bit simpler. No matter where you work or how hard you play, you need reliable appliances to help you conquer the inevitable hectic day. Whether you're optimizing space for the next great race or looking for a quiet place, Criterion appliances are ready when you are.
We protect your house.
We're doing it!
And your car.
We need to keep our energy up. I want to take me to Funky Town.
Because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 12th.
Your heart matters. Expert heart care close to home. SSM Health Heart and Vascular.
6:52, time for the morning spring.
We start with a recall alert. Fisher-Price reissuing a recall for a baby sleeper responsible for over 100 infant deaths now. That includes 70 new deaths since that initial recall back in 2019. The rock and play sleepers were sold between 2009 and 2019 at some major retailers, including Walmart, Target, and Amazon. Consumers are urged to stop using the product immediately.
The U.S. Marshal Service now involved in the search for a man responsible for a New Year's Eve shooting. Abdullah Rashada shot and killed two people at Reruns Bar in Racine. Law enforcement say he is 5'11" and 175 pounds. He goes by AJ, and if you see him, do not approach him. He is reported to be armed and dangerous. If you know where he is, contact the Racine Police Department or U.S. Marshal Service. The Department of Education is proposing lower student loan payments for millions of people. Just this morning, the Biden administration announcing that borrowers will be saving thousands of dollars a year. Smaller loans will be forgiven after 10 years of repayment, and there will be no charge for unpaid interest. A final rule could be released later this year.
Doctors who treated Damar Hamlin say the Bill's safety has been moved to a hospital in Buffalo to continue his recovery. It's an uplifting sign of the remarkable progress Hamlin's made just a week after going into cardiac arrest and having to be resuscitated on the field. Hamlin was discharged from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center and flown to Buffalo, where doctors say he is doing well.
1 in 2 Dane County homes have high radon levels. Radon is the second most common cause for lung cancer, but the gas cannot be seen, tasted, or smelled. Experts say it is a good idea to buy a test kit and place it on the lowest level of your home. If the kit comes back positive for radon, you should take action by funneling the radon out of your home.
We'll be issuing an executive order in the near future banning the use of TikTok.
Governor Tony Evers says that after a consultation with the FBI and emergency management, he'll be banning TikTok on government devices. Wisconsin will soon join a growing number of states that have done this. The FBI's concern comes from the Chinese company ByteDance and the potential for Chinese government surveillance.
Goldman Sachs will lay off as many as 3,200 employees this week. That's according to an unnamed source familiar with the matter. The person says more than a third of the cuts will be in trading and banking units. Goldman hired thousands of people during the pandemic recovery. Now it's seeing a slump in global deal making and economic uncertainty.
After more than 6 months of investigating former President Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia, a special grand jury has completed its work. In Georgia, they can't issue indictments, but the Atlanta area panel has written a final report on whether the Fulton County District Attorney should pursue charges.
A jury is now seated in the seditious conspiracy trial against 5 members of the Proud Boys. Opening statements are set to begin tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Federal prosecutors say they intend to prove the 5 members plotted and encouraged violence in the lead up to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
College Football Hall of Fame selections are out, and there's a former Badger on the ballot, Troy Vincent, who shined during Barry Alvarez's early years as UW's head coach, has been selected. While rocking the red and white, Vincent had 192 tackles, 31 passes defended, plus 4 picks. After his time at UW, Vincent's pro career spanned 16 years.
All right, we do have some fog that has developed, and it's gotten thicker here in the Madison area just over the last half of an hour or so. We're down to a half-mile visibility, quarter-mile visibility in Lone Rock. And, of course, we're getting a lot of thick frost on the windshield this morning, so you're going to have to scrape that. Obviously, be a little bit cautious with the reduced visibilities, but also some of this fog may be freezing on contact with temperatures well into the 20s. A little cooler today than yesterday. Looking at just a peak or two of sun, more clouds than anything. A little warmer tomorrow. May see a light snow shower. It looks like Thursday morning. That should be about it. Pretty quiet into the weekend. 40s next week with some rain.
All right, Kelly, thank you. 6:56. We'll be back with an update at 7:26.